was very interesting. This is something we've worked on for a few years, but the overwhelming impact for our student athletes, I'm like, man, I wish we'd have got this done even sooner.
You mentioned amenities. You guys have done a lot of work on that front on the campus level. What's been exciting for you, kind of going through those process? I know you guys have worked with Hollman and others. What gets you out of the bed in terms of the excitement and going through that process?
Well, I mean, think about it. Like I said, this is finished up my 5th year. My first year was COVID. So it's kind of like the normal 4th year in the cycle. You know, you start, after those 3 years, you start going downhill a little bit. Some things start happening, some product of that work. And the biggest thing for us was finishing phase 1 of our capital campaign, starting our construction project in December of 23, and walking into a new place and renovating our current offices on campus back in September. And a big part of that was, a lot of people didn't know it. I didn't know it when I got the job, that at DePaul, we didn't have locker rooms for anything but other than men and women's basketball. And so for this fall, it was the first time in school history that everyone has their own locker room. And it was exciting. And a big part of that, and maybe I didn't even realize how big a role it was going to play, is everybody having their own locker, that individual space. Right. So it wasn't just a room and the team could come together, having your own personal space. And Hollman Lockers has been a great partner in that. I was very familiar with them before, having a lot of conversations with my good friend Doug Woolard. I work with his son Chris and talking about them. But little did he know, I was already thinking about them on the short list. And then when they came for the presentation, the individual care, talking to my coaches, making them realize that, okay, there's different sizes. I got different bags. Do I want doors open or closed? The lockbox, the location, being able to be very flexible with that. I've got 10 head coaches. For all of them to walk away feeling really good about that, that's hard. But that's because you're dealing with professionals that do that on a daily basis. And I'm excited because we were able to affect 12 of our 15 teams with new lockers from them. And I'm excited. We're about to add a 13th team with men's golf. We're doing a new golf room to finalize phase 1. And then with the new practice facility, men and women's basketball will have a different version that I'm excited to see what's available at that point. To have all 15 teams will have not only a locker room and new lockers, but Hollman Lockers, some of the best in the business.
Has that technology component surprised you at some of the things they've been able to come up with?
I mean, the LED capability, the lighting, just that's the thing why you do partner with other people. Like, I could come up with all kinds of thoughts, right? But give it to the experts that are out there every day. They've known what they've done. They know what other people are doing. And then can think about, they put something in front of you they never even thought about that ends up being the result you want. And so, like, even with our golf, to be able to, I thought we just duplicate what we had. But no, they're like, no. Like, we've done this at different places. Here's what you want. And then we come up with a situation where the golf bag totally sits in there. It's got a protective floor. This is what they want. And then when I show that sample to my student athletes, it's like right on, right? They even provided samples to put in my office suite for people to come by and check them out. And we made little tweaks off of that, so they've just been firsthand, great partners, and being in an affordable situation too, to work with you based on what your project level is. We were able to deliver, hey, here's what we're looking to pay, here's our budget, here's our flexibility, here's the timetable, and provide something that I never thought. It was very interesting. This is something we've worked on for a few years, but the overwhelming impact for our student athletes, I'm like, man, I wish we'd have got this done even sooner because it was such a fantastic year. We had, our fall sports teams were ones that didn't have one. All 3 of them made the Big East tournament this year for the first time in school history. So it had immediate impact right away, and what an exciting way to start off the season.
Well, I'm sure the impact for the coaches, too, being able to use that in recruiting has to be huge.
Yeah, I asked them, what did y'all do before? And they said, well, we just didn't tell them, and somebody would assume we don't have a locker room. But now it's the first thing, and we show it, and it's just been an unbelievable asset for us, in recruiting and the culture, the team culture, being around each other, having a place. I just lost a men's soccer player, last Monday, to a sudden death. And I can only imagine that team went into their space, spent most of their day to be together. What would we have done? And so it even had an element for something that you don't foresee it being for. And just having their own space to congregate, to come together as a team, to have those memories, to see Chase's locker right there and know, and think about him and his family. There's a lot of special things that come out of a project like this.
How tough was that moment just as an AD for you?
Yeah, that's the first time I've dealt with that. Even some things have happened when you're at a distance or you've been gone. But being in this role,